Hi, this is Cheryl Branch, and this is Readings from Literature. Tonight, I'll be reading Nonsence ALphbets by William Lear. Let's see, hold on, maybe not. Uh, so I'll be reading Nonsence, Songs, Stories, Botany, and Alphabets by Edward Lear. Um, Nonsence, Songs, the Owl, and the Pussycat. The owl and the pussycat went to sea in a beautiful pea green boat. They took some honey and plenty of money wrapped up in a 5-pound note. The owl looked up to the stars above and sang to a small guitar. Oh, lovely pussy. Oh, pussy, my love, what a beautiful pussy you are. You are. What a beautiful pussy you are. The pussy said to the owl, "You elegant fowl, how charmingly sweet you sing. Oh, let us be married. Too long have we tarried. But what shall we do for a ring?" They sailed away for a year and a day to the land where the bong tree grows. And there in a wood, a piggy wood stood with a ring at the end of his nose. His nose! His nose, with a ring at the end of his nose. "Dear pig, are you willing to sell for 1 shilling your ring?" said the piggy. "I will." So they took it away and were married next day by the turkey who lives on the hill. They dined on mince and slices of quince, which they ate with a runcible spoon, and hand in hand on the edge of the sand they danced by the light of the moon. The moon, the moon. They danced by the light of the moon. The duck and the kangaroo. Said the duck to the kangaroo, "Good gracious, how you hop over the fields and the water too, as if you would never stop. My life is a bore in this nasty pond, and I long to go out in the world beyond. I wish I could hop like you," said the duck to the kangaroo. "Please give me a ride on your back," said the duck to the kangaroo. "I would sit quite still and say nothing but quack the whole night, no, the whole of the day, long day through. And we'd go the gee and the jelly bolee, over the land and over the sea. Please take me a ride, oh do," said the duck to the kangaroo. Said the kangaroo to the duck, This requires a little reflection. Perhaps on the whole it might bring me luck, but there seems but one objection, which is, if you let me speak so bold, your feet are unpleasantly wet, cold, and would probably give me the rue. "Matiz," said the kangaroo. Said the duck, "As I sate on the rocks, I have thought over that completely, and I brought 4 pairs of worsted socks, which fit my webbed feet neatly. And to keep out the cold, I've bought a cloak, and every day a cigar I'll smoke, all to follow my true love, my own dear true love of a kangaroo." Said the kangaroo, "I'm ready." In all the moonlight pale, but to balance me well did Duck sit steady, and quite at the end of my tail. And so away they went with a hop and a bound, and they hopped the whole world 3 times round. And who so happy, oh who, as the duck and the kangaroo? The daddy long legs and the fly. Once Mr. Daddy Longlegs, dressed in brown and gray, walked about upon the sands upon a summer day. And there were the pebbles. When the wind was rather cold, he met with Mr. Floppy Fly, all dressed in blue and gold. And as it was too soon to dine, they drank some periwinkle wine, and played an hour or 2 or more at the battlecock and shuttledore. Said Mr. Daddy Longlegs to the Floppy Fly, "Why do you never come to court? I wish you'd tell me why. All gold and shine, in dress so fine, you'd quite delight the court. Why do you never go at all? I really think you ought. And if you went, you'd see such sights, such rugs and jugs and candle lights, and more than all, the king and queen, one in red and one in green." "Oh, Mr. Daddy Longlegs," said Mr. Floppy Fly, "it's true I never go to court, and I will tell you why. If I had 6 long legs like yours, at once I'd go to court. But oh, can't, because my legs are so extremely short. And I'm afraid the king and queen, one in red and one in green, would say aloud, 'You are not fit, you fly, to come to court a bit.'" "Oh, Mr. Daddy Longlegs," said the Floppy Fly, "I wish you'd sing one little song, a Mumbian melody. You used to sing so awfully well in former days gone by, but now you never sing at all. I wish you'd tell me why. For if you would, the silvery sound would please the shrimps and cockles round, and all the crabs would gladly come to hear you sing Ah, dum-de-dum, said Daddy Longlegs, I can never sing again. And if you wish, I'll tell you why, although it gives me pain. For years I cannot hum a bit, or sing the smallest song. And this the dreadful reason is, my legs are grown too long. My 6 long legs all here and there oppress my bosom with despair. And if I stand or lie or sit, I cannot sing one single bit. So Mr. Daddy Longlegs and Mr. Floppy sat down in silence upon the sea and gazed upon the sky. They said, this is a dreadful thing. The world is all because his legs have grown too short. The other cannot sing a song because his legs have grown too long. Then Mr. Daddy Longlegs and Mr. Floppy Fly rushed down to the foamy sea with one spontaneous cry. And there they found the little boat whose sails were pink and gray. And off they sailed among the waves, far, far away. They sailed across the silent main and reached the great Gromboolian plain. And there they played forevermore at battlecock and shuttlecock. The Jumblies. They went to sea in a sieve, they did. In a sieve they went to sea, in spite of all the friends could say, on a winter's morn, on a stormy day, in a sieve they went to sea. And when the sieve turned round and round, and every one cried, you'll all be drowned, they called aloud, our sieve ain't big, but we don't care a button, we don't care a fig. In a sieve we'll go to sea. Far and few are the lands where the Jumblies live. Their heads are green, and their hands are blue, and they went to sea in a sieve. They sailed away in a sieve, they did. In a sieve they sailed so fast, with only a beautiful pea-green veil tied with a ribbon by way of a sail. 2 small tobacco pipe masts, and everyone said who saw them go, oh, won't they be soon upset? You know, the sky is dark and the voyage is long, and happen what may, it's extremely wrong in a sieve to sail so fast. Far and few, far and few are the lands where the Jumblies live. Their heads are green, and their hands are blue, and they went to the sea in a sieve. The water it soon came in, it did. The water it soon came in. So to keep them dry, they wrapped their feet in a pinky paper all folded neat, and they fastened it down with a pin. And they passed the night in a crockery jar. And each of them said, how wise we are! Though the sky be dark and the voyage be long, yet we can never think we were rash or wrong, while round in our sieve we spin. Far and few, far and few are the lands where the Jumblies live. Their heads are green and their hands are blue, and they went to sea in a sieve. And all night long they sailed away, and when the sun went down, they whistled and warbled a moony song to the echoing sound of a coppery gong. In the shade of the mountains brown, O Timbaloo, how happy in a sieve and a crockery jar. And all night long, in the moonlight pale, we sail away with the pea green sail in the shade of the mountains brown. Far and few, far and few are the lands where the Jumblies live. Their heads are green and their hands are blue, and they went to sea in a sieve. They sailed to the western sea, they did, to a land all covered with trees, and they bought an owl and a useful cart and a pound of rice and a cranberry tart and a hive of silvery bees. And they bought a pig and some green jackdaws and a lovely monkey with lollipop paws and 40 round bottles of ring boree and no end of Stilton cheese. Far and few, far and few are the lands where the Jumblies live. Their heads are green and their hands are blue, and they went to sea in a sieve. And in 20 years, they all came back, in 20 years or more, and everyone said, how tall they've grown, for they've been to the lakes and the torrible zone and the hills of the Chankly Bore. And they drank their health and gave them a feast, said, if we only live, we too will go to the sea in a sieve and to the hills of the Chankly Bore. Far and few, far and few are the lands where the Jumblies live. Their heads are green and their hands are blue, and they went to sea in a sieve. The Nutcrackers and the Sugar Tongs. The Nutcracker sat by a plate on the table. The Sugar Tongs sat by a plate at his side. And the Nutcracker said, don't you wish we were able along the blue hills and green meadows to ride? Must we drag on this stupid existence forever, so idle and weary, so full of remorse, while everyone else takes his pleasure and never seems happy unless he is riding a horse? Don't you think we could ride without being instructed, without any saddle or bridle or spur? Our legs are so long and so aptly constructed, I'm sure that an accident would not occur. Let us all of a sudden hop down from the table and hustle downstairs and each jump on a horse. Shall we try? Shall we go? Do you think we're able? The Sugar Tongs answered distinctly, of course. So down the long staircase they hopped in a minute. Sugar Tongues snapped and the crackers said crack. The stable was open, the horses were in it. Each took out a pony and jumped on his back. The cat in a fright scrambled out of the doorway. The mice tumbled out of the hay. The brown and white rats and the black ones from Norway screamed out, they're taking the horses away. The whole of the household was filled with amazement. The cups and the saucers danced madly about. The plates and the dishes looked out of the casement. The salt cellar stood on his head with a shout. The spoons with a clatter looked out of the lattice. The mustard pipe climbed up the gooseberry pies. The soup ladle peeped through the heap of veal patties and squeaked with a ladle-like scream of surprise. The frying pan said, "It's an awful delusion." The tea kettle hissed and grew black in the face. They all rushed downstairs in the wildest confusion to see the great nutcracker sugar tongue race. And out of the stable, with screamings and laughter, the ponies were cream-colored, speckled, and brown. The nutcrackers first and the sugar tongues after rode around the yard and then round all around the town. They rode through the street. They rode by the station. They galloped away to the beautiful shore. In silence, they rode and made no observation. Save this. We will never go back anymore. Oh, and still you might hear till they rode out of hearing. Wait. They rode through the street and they rode by the station. They galloped away to the beautiful shore. In silence they rode and made no observation, save this: we will never go back anymore. And still you might hear, till they rode out of hearing, the sugar tongs snap and the crackers say crack, till far in their distance, their forms disappearing, they faded away and they never came back. Calico Pie. Calico Pie. The little birds fly down to the calico tree. Their wings are blue and they sang Tilly-loo. Till they flew. And they never came back to me. They never came back. They never came back. They never came back to me. Calico Jam. The little fish swam over the still above sea. He took off his hat to the sole and the spread and the willy bee what. But he never came back to me. He never came back. He never came back. He never came back to me. Calico Band. The little mice ran to be ready in time for tea. Flippity flop, they drank it all up and danced in the cup. But they never came back to me. They never came back. They never came back. They never came back to me. Calico Drum. The grasshoppers come, the butterfly, beetle, and bee, over the ground, around and around, with a hop and a bound. They never came back. They never came back. They never came back to me. Mr. and Mrs. Spickly Sparrow. On a little piece of wood, Mr. Spickly Sparrow stood. Mrs. Sparrow stayed close by, a making of an insect pie for her little children 5, in the nest and all alive, singing with that cheerful smile to amuse them all the while. Twicky, twicky, wicky, wee, wicky, bicky, twicky, tee, spicky, bicky, bee. Mrs. Spicky Sparrow said, "Spicky, darling, in my head many thoughts of trouble come, like to flies upon a plum. All last night among the trees I heard you cough, I heard you sneeze, and thought it's come to that because he does not wear a hat. Chippy whippy sicky tea, bicky wicky chicky me, spicky chippy wee. Not that you're growing old, but the nights are growing cold. No one stays out all night long without a hat. I'm sure it's wrong. Mr. Spicky said, "How kind, dear, you are to speak your mind. All your life I wish you luck. You are a lovely duck. Witchy, witchy, witchy wee. Twitchy, witchy, witchy bee. Ticky, ticky, tee." I was also sad and thinking, when one day I saw you winking and heard you sniffle, snuffle, and saw your feathers ruffle, to myself I sadly said, "She's neuralgia in her head. That dear head has nothing on it. Ought she not wear a bonnet? Witchy, kitchy, kitchy wee. Spicky, wicky, milky bee. Chippy, whippy, chee. Let us both fly up to town. There I'll buy you such a gown, which completely in the fashion you shall tie a sky blue sash on, and a pair of slippers neat to fit your darling little feet, so that you look and feel quite volubious and genteel. Chicky, wicky, bicky, see. Chicky, bicky, wicky, bee. Twicky, witchy, wee. So they both to London went alighting on the monument, whence they flew down swiftly, pop, into Moses' wholesale shop. There they bought a hat and bonnet, and a gown with spots upon it, a satin sash of clocksome blue, and a pair of slippers too. Zicky, wicky, Mickey bee, witchy, witchy, mitchy, key, sicky, ticky, wee. Then, when so completely dressed, back they flew and reached their nest. Their children cried, "Oh, Mom, Pa, how truly beautiful you are." Said they, "We trust that cold nor pain we shall never feel again. While perched on tree or house or steeple, we shall now look like other people. Witchy, witchy, witchy wee, Twicky, Mickey, Mickey bee, Zicky, Sicky tea." The broom, the shovel, the poker, and the tongs. The broom and the shovel, the poker and the tongs, they all took a drive in the park. And they sang a song, ding-a-dong, ding-a-dong, before they went back into the dark. Mr. Poker, he sate quite upright in the coach. Mr. Tongs made a clatter and a clash. Miss Shovel was dressed all in black with a brooch. Miss Broom was in blue with sash. Ding-a-dong, ding-a-dong. And they all sang a song. "Oh, Shovely, so lovely," the poker he sang. You have perfectly conquered my heart. Ding-a-dong, ding-a-dong. If you're pleased with my song, I will feed you with cold apple tart. When you scrape up the coals with a delicate sound, you enrapture my life with delight. Your nose is so shiny, your head is so round, and your shape is so slender, bright. Ding-a-dong, ding-a-dong. Ain't you pleased with my song? Alas, Mrs. Broom sighed the tongs in his song. Oh, is it because I'm so thin and my legs are so long, ding a dong, that you don't care about me a pin? Or fairest of creatures when sweeping the room? Why don't you heed my complaint? Must you needs be so cruel, you beautiful bloom, because you are covered with paint? Ding a dong, you're certainly wrong. Mrs. Broom and Mrs. Shovel together they sang. What a nonsense you're singing today, said the shovel. I'll certainly hit you a bang, and the broom I'll sweep you away. So the coachman drove homeward as fast as he could, perceiving their anger with pain. But they brought on the kettle, and little by little they all became happy again. Ding a dong, ding a dong. There's the end of my song. The table and the chair. Set the table to the chair. You can hardly be aware how I suffer from the heat and from the chilblains on my feet. We took a little walk, we might have a little talk. Pray, let us take the air, said the table to the chair. Said the table, chair unto the table. Now you know we are not able. How foolishly you talk when you know we cannot walk. And said the table with a sigh. Well, said the table with a sigh. It can do no harm to try. I've as many legs as you. Why can't we walk on too? So they both went slowly down and walked around the town with a cheerful bumpy sound as they toddled round and round. And everyone cried as they hastened to their side, see, the table and the chair have come out to take the air. But in going down an alley to a castle in a valley, they completely lost their way and wandered all the day till, to see them safely back, they hired a ducky quack, a beetle, and a mouse who took them to their house. Then they whispered to each other, oh, delightful little brother, what a lovely walk we've taken. Let us dine on beans and bacon. So the ducky and the beetle, Brownie Mousy and the beetle, dined and danced upon their heads until they toddled to their beds. This has been a reading of nonsense or songs from Nonsense Songs, Stories, Botany, and Alphabets by Edward Lear. My name is Cheryl Branch, and this is Readings from Literature. Please check out Andorra at www.andorrasstore.com. That's www.andorrasstore, one word.com, where you'll find handcrafted home decor and fashion accessories, and the Make America COVID-19 Free Again t-shirt. This is Cheryl Branch. Good night.